I'm very concerned about the future. I've been at this since 1980, and I've never seen a decline that we're looking at now. Let's go back to September of 2019. Hey, remember the repo markets where the Federal Reserve dumped in $10 trillion between September 2019 to January 2020 so they could keep pumping up the markets because they needed more cheap money? Now let's go to the COVID war. They locked down the world. And we're talking about why China's in so much trouble with their zero COVID policy. The businesses that they've destroyed in China and around the world are incalculable. I think it was the IMF or one of them just came out that they're facing the worst financial crisis of all of them concerning their debt level. And look at what's happened to the businesses. So now let's put it all together. We're looking at what happened and why it happened. So when they began the COVID war, they locked down everything. Stay at home. You can't go to work. But hey, here's some cheap money for you. Here, go on. Shut up. Here's some money. You got a business here. We're going to give you money. Oh, we're going to print more cheap money. We're going to go to zero and negative interest rates. Well, they stayed on negative interest rates, in Europe for how many years? Oh, only 8. In the United States, zero interest rate policy. The market should have crashed in 2020. No, we had a real estate boom. We had a high-tech boom. People were buying and fixing up. Here's more cheap money. Here's cheap money. But now, let's go back to the facts. We had the BS from Janet Yellen, taken over by the Federal Reserve because she was the head of the Fed and now our Treasury Secretary, along with the guy playing the Fed head, Powell, going on for almost 2 years. There is no inflation. It's only temporary. No. It's only transitory. They lied about it. They knew it was real. So they could keep pumping in that cheap money. Now here's the big lie. Now they're saying inflation will get better because it was only caused by the supply chain disruptions, not our cheap money and our zero interest rate policy. If the Federal Reserve raises interest rates in February 1st, even 25 basis points, it's going to keep pushing the markets down. However, being that it's all about the bottom line, they may be less aggressive in raising interest rates, and that's why you're seeing gold prices going up. If China didn't have the zero COVID policy, we were forecasting that China was going to be the largest economy in the world within 7 years. This has really slowed it down. China and Russia have united. The BRICS have united. They are tired of the West running the world. And there are more of them than us. It's all in the numbers. When you're looking at China, you got 1.4 billion people over there. You got 332 million in America. You got about 340 million in Europe. It's all about the numbers. So when you start putting all the BRICS in, and then you start bringing in the other countries, Indonesia and on and on and on. No, the future is going in that direction. The business of China is business, as their road initiative. The business of America is war. So as America and Europe are putting more and more and more money into the military, as the other countries are putting more and more and more money into building their economies. So that's where the United States is going. China and the BRICS are going in another direction. And then going back to gold. Look at all the gold that was bought up by the central banks in 2022. We had forecast that if there was not a Santa Claus rally in 2022, just passed, it's going to go down deep in the first 3 months of 2023. However, you cannot forecast what they're going to do. It's a guessing game regarding the Feds, because let's go back to December 2018. The markets are going down really sharp. Donald Trump put extreme pressure on Jerome Powell to lower interest rates. Just before that, going back into November, Powell said they weren't going to raise interest rates. They did. He said Powell came back in early January giving the message that they were going to lower interest rates. So the power of the president is very strong. And again, the financial business, they're the ones that run the show, the BlackRocks and the Blackstones and all the private equity groups that are in charge. If they put pressure on the Fed to lower interest rates, they're going to do it. It's not about we the people. It's about the ones running the show. I called it wrong in 2012. I thought the economy was going to crash in 2012. They invented a thing called quantitative easing. They didn't teach us that in Economics 101 at graduate school, nor did they teach us about zero and negative interest rate policy. They could come up with anything. Again, the money people are in charge. Look what's going on with the interest rates, right? What's the inflation rate? Oh, 10.7%. You're still deep in negative territory. So in the United States, what do you have? You have inflation rate, it's 7.1? And you have a 4.5? You're still in negative territory. So here's what they're going to do. This is going to be the year we believe that we're going to start seeing going from dirty cash to digital trash. They're going to make up something new. And that's the way they're going to get out of this thing. Look at the United States. Just passed a $1.7 trillion budget when you have a $30.1 trillion deficit. They're going to make something up. Here, the Russians just hacked our banking system. You can't get your money out. But don't worry about it. We're coming up with a new currency. They'll make up anything. Oh, going back to, I said, when all else fails, they take you to war. And I believe this is going to be the year where there's going to be a big push toward a digital currency. That's the way Fed's going to get us. That's the way we see it happening. And it's going to go like that. And we're doing this to protect you so we can know every penny that you spent, where you spent it, what you spent it on, so we can get the tax money so we get all your money. That's where this thing is going. And I say to people, why would you keep your money in a bank when they're not paying you anything and they're making money on your money? So going back to gold, and again, to us, gold is the number one safe haven asset. When gold went down into the 1600s a few months ago, we said this is the bottom. It's going up from now. And now it's been hitting several month highs. Again, when they go digital, gold is going to go through the roof because that's going to be the only real currency that's going to be accepted to pay, to transfer, because they're going to do away with all the paper money. Again, the whole world has gone AI. It's a whole different world. So what I'm saying, the whole world is going AI. Younger generations are going to accept it like that, the digital currencies. That's perfect for me. It's perfect for you. And China's going to lead the way in it. And they are leading the way. That's the only way we see it going down. But we still see Bitcoin as all the cryptocurrencies as the one that's going to stabilize until they do that and it becomes the real deal. And it's going to take a few years for that to happen. It's going to start gradually and then all of a sudden it'll end and we'll all be digital.